Kathy here from kathyskutekreations. Today we are going to be doing number 5 of the cotton cuts. And mine is Name of the Rose, and I have a small one. This is month 5. So I want to first off say thank you, Yvette, for the shirt. And then we have the block of the month, which is the log cabin. And this month we got a card, so that you can write anything you want on it. That's what it looks like. First off, I'm going to remind you of my Team Owl. Team Night Owl is my colors. So these are the 6 colors that I'm using. And I don't want to lift this because I'm afraid it's going to fall off. So let's go over here to the other table and let's get started. Okay, so I've already jumped the gun and lined up my half square triangles that we're going to make. So here are my 4 colors. That's the one that's missing right there. This is A, the pink is D, the dark here is E, and the white with the little blue flowers or petals of the flowers is F. So we're going to make half square triangles. We're going to take, we have 4 of these, which are the pink colors, and we're going to do 2 of the fabrics with E and 2 with F. And I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to chain stitch them. There's my F set up. My E is over here. Might be a little hard to see on the table there. But let's go ahead and get started. You need to mark your fabric a 1/4 inch because all of these are a 1/4 inch. Then you can mark it either with a friction pen or a pencil. It's not going to show. If you use a light enough color, I would put it on the pink side, not the white side, so it doesn't show through. I'm using a 12-inch needle. And I have, my length is on 2.5 inches. You can make yours smaller if you want. I'm not putting any pins in it. I'm just stitching. That's what you're going to have when you're done. And then we're going to take our D and we're going to take our F and we're going to put them together with these, and I'll show you how to do that. You're going to lay them down. You're going to put D and your A. You want to make sure your D's go together. And then on here, you have your D and your your F, excuse me. Your F's are going to be together. Okay, so that's the main thing. Put these 2 fabrics together and these 2 fabrics together. All right, let's go ahead and sew. I sewed the wrong 2 pieces of fabric together. I tell you what, I can't tell my blues from my pinks or anything else today. So fabric A was this one here. And there was only 2 of these. So they were supposed to be sewn to fabric F. I don't know what made me stop and re-look at it, but somehow it was looking weird. I mean, the directions are in black and white, so it's not as if I caught the color, but somehow I did. So now let's sew all of these correctly. Now, if you're new to half square triangles, you're going to want to be really careful because that's being sewn on the bias and it will stretch, so you don't want to have any pull on it. Now, I went ahead and I laid these out. I put a pin in this corner here because this is going upward. You are supposed to iron your half square triangles to the pink or to the light or whatever color you're using. And I want to make sure that doesn't flip over when it comes down here. So I went ahead and I pinned it on this side. Let's cut these apart and iron them open. When you're done, you'll have 2 of these and 2 of these, and they want you to lay them out like this next. So I'm going to lay them out like that, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew my E and my F because they want you to take 4 E's and 4 F's and make them into half square triangles. We're going to do that now before we go on to this right here. Okay, so I went ahead and I paired up my E and F triangles. I'm going to go ahead and make the half square triangles. They want you to make 4 of them. And like I said, be careful. This is the bias. You need to pin it and mark it. Go ahead. You'll end up with 4 like that. And they want us, excuse me, to take our E, which is this blue here, and they want us to put it together with the ones we just made. But they want it like this because we're matching up these 2 colors right here. So let's go ahead and do that next. When we iron these, we iron them towards the F, which is the lighter color. And so now the way that we're sewing these so that the two blues, which is the top and the bottom, end up together, all of these are going downward. Every one of these. So we don't have to worry about pinning if you're not a pinner. I guess Jack's going to be my best friend today. So I just sewed all them wrong. Now I'm going to re-sew them correctly. I think I need to read twice and sew once. One decided to go down in the groove there. Let's start it down here a little bit. And we'll come back to it. I didn't even notice it till I went to put it together, and that's when I realized it wasn't matching up right. Let's try again here. And now what I'll do is I'll go back to that very first one that I started down from the edge. Which you can probably see I got it up here and it's not down at the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'll just turn it around and come off of it. Like that. So it wants you to sew them in pairs. F at the top and then F at the bottom. And then F at the top and then F at the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pair them up. And you're going to make sure that they nestle. While we pin those other ones, we're going to go ahead and pin these also. So these are not nestling. They're just folded over on top of each other. And we're going to pin them and sew them all pinned together. Okay, so when you're done, you'll have two that look like this. And then you're going to have two rectangles left, which are going to be your F's. And you're going to put them on the left-hand side. Like that. Now these here, I don't have iron to open yet. But they look like this. Whoops. Get that pin out of there. Because this is the F down here. And that's the way that they look. Okay, so we're at this step here. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to iron these. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew these. Okay, so if you're new to my videos and you're just tuning in for the first time, we do not want to take this tip off. So what I do is I mark it. Let me get another color for you to mark it with so that you can actually see it on the video. I put a little spot right here because we don't want to go below that or we'll take our tip off. So I'm going to take the ruler, and now this fabric has to be turned, it has to be ironed towards that direction. So I'm taking a pin and I am marking on this fabric my seam line, okay? Because I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it that direction. In order to turn it that direction, I'm going to lose where I'm supposed to be sewing. So I take the line that I just created and then I go to the edge and over to the other side and keep it straight, just like that. Then I pin it while this is turned, okay? So I'm going to pin this so that when I sew it, I'll go ahead and I'll sew across this line and I won't take the tip off. That's the importance of marking it. And I'll mark it on each side here. And then on this end, because of the way that it's pulling, what I'll do is I will go and I'll pull this up here and mark it so that my fabric is not distorted when it comes across that edge. And then that straightens that out so that when you come across it, it doesn't get distorted. So let's go ahead and we'll iron it. And I've marked the other one already with some black, but I marked this with red for you all. Now, if you're still scared and you don't want to have to constantly rip, then what you can do is go ahead and make your stitch length a basting stitch, which is a bigger stitch, so that you can take it out. Also, another thing is, and I'll show you here, is that you can go ahead and instead of starting up here at the top, start right here before the middle of the fabric and we're going to go ahead and sew it. And then we're going to stop and we're going to look at it to see if it worked. Because now would be the time to take that out if it didn't work. So sew enough to get off the edge here. Take it apart. Let's take a look at it. Let me show it to you. The part that we just sewed right here. And as you can tell, we did not take the tip. See it right there? The tip is not gone. There it is right there. We did not chop it off. So now we can go back and sew it from the top up here all the way to the bottom. And now if it had cut your tip off, now's the time to take that out and remark it. Okay? We're starting up here at the top. I'm going to go ahead and come on down. We'll just sew right over what we did before. We'll do the next one. And you can do the same thing. Come up here to the middle if you want and check it out to make sure. Now clip it. Let's take a look at both of them. Now remember, if you use the invisible marking pencil and you go up there to iron it, you're going to lose it, okay? When I say lose it, I mean your ink. You're going to lose the ink if you used it. So there we go. We didn't lose our tip. We didn't lose our tip there either. So we got both the tips. We didn't lose either one. And it looks like this. Right now at this point, this is what we have. I guess I should turn this around so you can see that it's two of them. And then it's two of these. And now it wants us to take this fabric here and put it up against one of these. So what you're looking at is you're looking at your F's that match on this side. This comes across like this, and your F matches on this side. And we're going to make two of them. Now remember that when you're connecting this, when we flip this over, okay, let's turn the whole thing over now, like that, because what you're going to be looking for is this right here. You're going to need to mark that. Remember, otherwise you're going to take your tip off. So let's mark it. Put your little mark right here. And then you're going to draw a line from the right and the left of that. Okay? I got them both pinned here. I'm getting ready to do them. And I got it so that I can see my mark. And like I said, go ahead and go across this first if you need to make sure that you've got it lined up correctly and everything. That's only if you have to. You marked it. You've got to trust yourself that you marked it correctly. And if you didn't mark it correctly, you've got to figure out why you didn't and how you can the next time. Take a look at it before you iron it so you don't lose your mark. Okay, here's what we're looking at. Right here. Looks good. Don't have it ironed yet. And up here, whoops, too fast for you. Looks good. So we'll just iron it over. It is called section 5, and it should measure 9.5 by 12.5. All right, and if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Yours can be smaller, yours can be larger. It makes no difference. The quilt will come together. Okay, I'll add it to the design wall with all the rest. I'll show you them here up here with all the rest of them. So far, this is what we have. 5 different months. I've just got them lined up here on the left-hand side of the wall. All right. So I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to make a comment, by all means, make a comment. If you've got any questions or anything, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Bye-bye.